Hey everybody, Melissa O'Grady, the plant-based Melissa here, and welcome to our next Mindset Monday YouTube live. So I just got done doing the exact same video on Facebook where I pretty much just about cried, and now I'm here doing the same thing here. And I wanted to do this subject for this week's episode because I think it is important. And I've done a YouTube video on this whole why I don't think you should transition in the past. And you can certainly go and look at my previous videos to find it. And I know that it can be a very touchy subject, but I really truly feel like it's one that needs to be discussed, especially when you're trying to go whole food plant based and you get stuck in the vegan junk food trap. So, what does that mean exactly? So, let's say you are trying to go whole food plant based and you find yourself getting not seeing results, and you look in your grocery cart and what you're purchasing, and it's just vegan replacement products, replacement cheeses and replacement meats and replacement chicken patties and chicken nuggets and all these different things. Okay, so these products aren't whole food plant based. They're not. They may be vegan, and some of them aren't, because some of them even have egg whites and things like that in them, or even casein, which is just derived from milk, anyways. Basically, it has dairy in it, and they try to put things on there. But if you go ahead and you see the words plant based slapped onto a label of a meat replacement product or cheese replacement product, that does not automatically equal whole food plant based, because 99% of those products on store shelves are not. So when I when I'm on the internet, when I'm on Facebook and I'm in so many different whole food plant-based groups, a lot of the times I will see people post pictures of a product like the Beyond Burger and the ingredients list, and they'll say something like, "Is this whole food plant-based? Can I eat this?" Quick education for you guys if you're new and you just don't know. Okay? Eating whole food plant-based includes no oil. Okay? Why? Because oil causes inflammation within the body. It damages the endothelial cells in your blood vessels, and that damage tends to get plaques build up on it, which then can break off and cause a heart attack or a stroke. So you don't want to eat oil. And before anyone says, what about this oil? What about that oil? It includes all oil. So a whole food plant-based lifestyle is a no oil lifestyle. And 99% of the vegan replacement products on store shelves contain at least one oil. So, like the Beyond Burger, I believe even has two or three different oils listed on their ingredients list. And that is a red flag right there. So, if you turn around a product and you look at the ingredients, if you see oil on it, put it back on the shelf. Don't get stuck in that trap. Why is that difficult? Now, first of all, I guarantee that people will want to post saying, but it's good because now no animals are dying because of the Beyond Meat burger, okay? Beyond, for all these other different products. That may be true, but that is true in the terms of vegan. So if you can say, oh, I'm happy that this standard American diet sad eater will once in a while decide to get this instead and possibly save an animal's life, that is good. That's a good thing. But if you are trying to be whole food plant based, those products are not healthy for you and they're not going to promote good health for you. So let's take that whole vegan aspect and push it aside and not think about that. We're talking whole food plant based. Okay, guys? And those products are not healthy. Not only do they usually contain oil, but they usually contain different protein isolates, such as soy protein isolate, which we don't want the isolates. We don't want things extracted and removed that are just the bad. That's what oil is. Oil is taking everything good from the original whole food, such as the avocado or something like that, and taking all the enzymes and all the fiber and all those good nutrients away, leaving nothing but that pure fat that goes straight into your blood vessels and just does damage. You don't need that. You don't want that. You want to go ahead and think about why you're going whole food plant based. Okay. Maybe you watched one of the many documentaries out there. Maybe you saw results. Maybe you found my channel and you see my results, and you're buying these different products and you're wondering why you're not getting those same results. That is why I don't generally buy those products. There are that one little percent. Remember I said 99% of them have oil? There's a few out there that are okay. I would consider them a yellow light food, which means, and I hate the term moderation because it's like an excuse for saying eat something bad, but there are a few where there are no oil, no isolates. They're okay in once in a while, but the whole idea here is to eat whole food plant based, to focus on fruits and vegetables and beans and grains. Okay. And so those items, the few, all right, there's a brand called No Evil that makes a few different replacement meats that actually don't have oil. They don't have the isolates. They're okay. I will buy maybe one a month for me and my husband, and I rarely even eat them. And if I do, I eat such a small amount. It will, like once or twice a week for myself that it doesn't, it's okay. Kite Hill cheese, tree line cheese are two of the brands that are okay. I get them once in a while. So if my husband wants to put it on his English muffin and make a sandwich out of it with some tomato and avocado, it's his favorite sandwich. Hummus, Kite Hill cheese, slice of tomato, a slice of avocado, some spinach or other lettuce, on the toasted Ezekiel English muffin. He loves that sandwich. So once in a while, I get that for him. So what you want to try to do is just get into that habit. All right. So Joan did ask, any suggestion on what oil is healthy? None. No oil. No oil. You say I put a teaspoon on my salad with vinegar. Don't leave it out. That teaspoon, you feel like people will say like, "Oh, in moderation." Again, I hate that word, in moderation. This is a analogy that I use all the time. Do you remember the book and the movie Flowers in the Attic? Do you remember how ultimately we thought it was the grandmother, but it was the mother sprinkling the arsenic, pretending it was powdered sugar on her kids' cookies? And you remember how throughout the year, with the kids not being out in the sunshine and eating these cookies every single day, they started getting sicker and sicker and sicker until the one boy twin died? So, moderation still killed that kid. Okay. Moderation can still kill. It just, you don't pick your poison and say, I'm just going to have a little bit because it still does damage no matter what it is. So you don't want to get stuck in that trap. So for Mindset Monday, for today, I want everyone to just try to not buy any of those replacement products. And you think, well, then what am I going to eat? I make stir fries and I make soups and I make stews and I make tacos and I will make my husband pizza and I still make him spaghetti, or I use for myself, I use zucchini noodles and I make that, and I will make like an Alfredo and I will put, tons of broccoli and mushrooms in it and it's delicious. You can make any food that you love because we all have different tastes. Some of us, like I have my Kickstart program, okay? And when I first launched and did my beta launch of it, one person quit on day one because the first meal for day one was eating tacos for dinner using a cauliflower mushroom taco meat recipe that I have. And she didn't like tacos. So she didn't do any of the program because she got stuck on saying, I don't like tacos. Don't get yourself stuck in a sentence where you're saying, I'm going to quit on myself. I'm going to go back to eating this junk food simply because I don't like this one thing. In my Facebook Live that I did just before coming here, someone did ask the question, well, what if, my food is bland? Food can be, if you try a recipe and you find that the recipe is bland, first of all, I make up a lot of my own recipes simply because I agree. Sometimes I've tried the one, different recipes in some of the various whole food plant-based cookbooks. And I agree, sometimes they're bland, but you can alter them and change them up. You can say, okay, this is a little bland. I'm going to go back. I'm going to stir it up with some garlic powder. I'm going to add some onion powder. I'm going to add some turmeric to it. I'm going to add some nutritional yeast to it. You can flavor the heck out of it and enjoy it. And one of the things that I found was there was a recipe for these sausages that use those rice wrap papers that you can use if you're making a rice wrap, like a spring roll. And instead of leaving them soft like they are, they put them in the air fryer with their stuff and they made it into like a sausage. And that was like the casing. I found that bland as heck, but I took my own recipes and added it to the rice wraps and do the same thing. And it's delicious. So there is certainly a way to make anything flavorful. And what I talked about on the other channel is you need to learn to define your why and really feel it. if you want to be successful in this way and you want to not get stuck in that vegan junk food trap, you need to enjoy your food that you make that's whole food plant based, but you also need to have your why you're doing this be so strong that that junk food is basically the same big bad wolf as eating the sad diet was. Okay. So when I the year before I went whole food plant based, okay, that summer, I no longer my diabetes went out of control. Okay. So I did low carb for years and I had yo-yoed. I yo-yoed with success. I had anywhere from an A1C of a 5 to all the way to 11 when I was diagnosed, but I always managed to stay in that 6 or 7 range usually, and I would gain 20 pounds and lose 20 and then gain it again. I usually stayed between 160 and 185 to 190 within that 30-pound range. And all of a sudden, my A1C went back up to a 10, and I went on insulin. And within from that summer until that winter, in 6 months, I went from 3 units a day to 70 a day. And it kept going higher and higher. And then they added Victoza. And if you ever watch the commercials for Victoza and many of the other injectable diabetes drugs that are out there, they say if you have any swelling in the neck, to stop use immediately. And I had swelling in my neck. It bulged out like this. It was horrible and it hurt. It hurt to swallow. It hurt to do anything. It hurt to breathe. And that is one of the symptoms. And it has actually caused thyroid cancer in people. And they say this is either a swollen lymph node or it's thyroid cancer. And I stopped and I went away. It went away as soon as I stopped taking that. And at the same time, I had huge swelling in my knee. I have two bad knees. I have old torn ligament injury in one. I have torn cartilage in the other. And the torn cartilage knee all of a sudden was the size of a grapefruit. And it was so unmovable that for that entire February, I could not walk. I was stuck on the couch. And I've told this story many times. I could not move. I couldn't use crutches because I couldn't bend my knee enough to not have my leg dragging with the crutches. So I was peeing in a bucket on the side of the couch. I had sores on my butt from sitting down so much. I got tennis elbow from lifting myself up with my elbows. And then I got carpal tunnel from lifting myself up with my wrists. I was at my rock bottom. And that rock bottom with the insulin and the Victoza and the knee, everything all at once had me saying, this is not how I should feel at 39 years old. I should not be feeling like I am dying here. I should feel like I'm alive and awesome and going to be 40 and fabulous and be able to say that. And instead, I felt sick and I felt like I was dying. And it finally clicked to me, even though I had watched Forks Over Knives and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and I had seen all these, all these other great documentaries many times. It had never clicked on me until this all happened at once. And I finally said, this is not working. The way I've been living my life is not working. It's killing me. It's killing me. I need to do something completely different. And we decided to do a Saturday and just do a completely whole food plant based just to see if we could do it. We did it and we felt great. So we did Sunday and we did it and we felt great. And we were having a conversation as our daughter was swinging on on her swing in the backyard. And we said, let's just stay with it and let's just keep doing it. So we kept doing it. And within 2 weeks, that inflammation was gone and I was walking normal. I was in physical therapy, and at the end of the physical therapy session, you would lay on that physical therapy table, and he would have me try to straighten my leg. And it was so bent at a curved angle that he could fit a basketball under my knee when I was trying to get it straight against the table. And in 2 weeks, he couldn't fit his fingers under that knee. It was perfectly, the inflammation was gone because the oil was gone and the meat was gone, and all that crap that I had been putting in my body was gone. And then 2 weeks later from that, a month in, I was off insulin completely. I changed my life. And that said to me, I'm not eating meat again. I'm not going to eat these oil filled vegan products. And I will fully admit to you that guess what? About 4 months in, we decided to try that Beyond Burger. And it was an oil slick. I got sick. I puked. It was gross. Don't do that to yourself. Don't trade one poison for another poison to make it even more difficult to get to whole food plant based. People will say it's a great transition food. It is not. How is it a transition food to go from eating something that's making you sick to eating something else that's going to make you feel sick and then going to something that's going to heal you? All this is going to do, that middle ground, that vegan transition junk food, all it's really going to do is prolong you not feeling healthy and living that healthy life. Why did you want to eat this way? I wanted to eat this way because I was sick of being on insulin and feeling sick. I was sick of being stuck on that couch and being unable to move and get my kids on the school bus and make them dinner and give them their bath and help with the homework. I literally couldn't do anything. I was stuck on that couch and I didn't ever want to be there again. So as soon as I could move and I was able to move from eating this way, there was no way I was ever going to go back. There's no way. No transition food is worth being on that couch again. No transition food is worth 70 units of insulin again. And I guarantee that insulin was going to just keep going up, and it was just going to keep getting worse because it just kept doing that. The amount of insulin I took would be fine for a week or two, and then all of a sudden my numbers were creeping up again. And that is just a horrible cycle to be on. Don't get into that junk food cycle where you're saying it's just a transition. No earth balance vegan butter, okay? No vegan meat products and chicken patties and this stuff. No eating those fake cheeses, the diet cheese. Don't hurt yourself more. I want everyone out there who aims to go whole food plant based to feel amazing and know how good they can feel and saying, I don't need that because that's going to not help me. I feel great eating this, so I'm not going to eat that. And like I said, there are a few out there that are okay. There are a few that don't have oil and don't have the isolates, and you can say, okay, for that one day a week, I'm not going to worry about cooking a meal or batch cooking something. I'm just going to grab this off the shelf and I'm going to put that in my air fryer and I'm going to have that with dinner. That, if it's okay, if it doesn't have that oil, if it doesn't have those isolates, that one is an okay one. I don't say, like, when I say have a cheat meal, have something like that. My cheat meal is one of those, one of the ones without oil and without the isolates. It's not the Beyond Burger. It's not the diet cheese. My husband once decided we go to this place where I get salads. It's a local place. It's called Pio Mine and Greens. And you can get a salad it's like, if you've ever heard of Core Life, you can go into Core Life and you get a salad and you can pick 4 veggies. You can go into Pio Mine Greens and you can get 30 veggies in your salad, and they chop it up super fine and it's awesome. And I put my balsamic vinegar on it and it's completely compliant. It's a salad. All right. So, I'll go in there and they make pizzas as well. And you can say no oil and they will make it no oil. They have diet cheese for the vegans. And one day my husband said, can you sprinkle a little bit of that on my pizza? He's like, you okay if I have a little bit of this? And I'm like, go ahead. He got sick as a dog. Okay. So don't trade it. And he learned his lesson. So he doesn't do that. So if we go in there and I get my salad and he's not much of a salad eater, he gets his pizza, he puts the sauce on it and he puts his veggies on it. He puts chickpeas on his pizza. People look at him like he's weird, and he's eating a chickpea pizza and he loves it. Like I said, one of the things that I do is I'll get that Kite Hill cheese once in a while because there is no oil in it. It's relatively an okay processed, but okay, still whole food, plant-based, technically compliant product. And his favorite, little quick recipe for you. Try this if you want a recipe. He gets the Ezekiel English muffins and I toast them. On one side, I put some of the Kite Hill cheese. On the other, I put some of my homemade hummus. I slap a slice of tomato, a slice of avocado. I put some sort of like lettuce or spinach on there. Boom. He loves that. And he'll eat that. And it feels like he's eating a sloppy sandwich that he got that's like dripping, but it's completely compliant and it's delicious. If you learn to love your food, you can go ahead and do it. Okay, so Joan also asked, how long did it take for the weight loss, for the weight to come off? So I lost pretty much all of my weight in about 10 months. I lost from being whole food plant based to now, I lost a total of about 87 pounds. So I maintain being roughly in that range of 121 pounds. And I am someone who my entire life was fat. From 9 years old, I was fat. All right. So, and as a kid, we were just joking about this. Yeah, we like to go to a local park for picnics with my parents, and we bring our own food. And we were there yesterday, and my mother and I were just joking. She eats the standard American diet. She will never go whole food plant based, but she was joking with me about how, as a kid, when Santa would send me a letter Santa would always put in the PS, don't forget to eat your meat because I used to not eat my meat. And then she used to tell me as Santa to eat my meat. And who would have thought I'd grow up and not eat meat? So we were joking about it. And, she will never eat this way, but she applauds me. And I never, ever thought I would ever lose this weight. I never thought I would say I'm a size 0 and have room. And the only thing I have left to do is basically, and I will say this because I'm hoping to do this year, is a tummy tuck. And it sounds stupid, but I have a lot of loose skin, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like I did all this work, lost all this weight, have maintained it now for a year and a half, and I want to have a flat stomach. I feel like I deserve it. So I'm gonna get a tummy tuck and have it hacked off because after being overweight for 30 years, that stuff, and I get a lot of people that post comments saying, try dry brushing, try this, try that. That stuff has helped some, but trust me, I'm not showing the grossness. If I have a tummy tuck, I'll probably show pictures then, but I will not scare people with my stomach. But I feel like I deserve a flat tummy after all these years of doing that. Okay, so straight to the root wellness with Diana. She said, do you snack or stay with 3 meals a day? I generally have one snack a day, especially right now in the summertime, because that's when I am very busy on bikes. I'm bike riding. I'm trying to get up to doing my first half century, which is 50-mile bike ride. I'm up to 30 miles. And last year I had planned that this year I would be riding the Erie Canal bike trail. It would take about a week. It's 360 miles. And I'm not someone who will ever be extreme. I'm not going to do ultra marathons or even a marathon. My knees can't handle the running as much as I used to. But I want to push myself a little bit and say, hey, I can do this. And my goal is to do that Erie Canal Trail. I think it would be so much fun to go off for an entire week. And I'm working on trying to get to a half century, and then be able to do that 7 days in a row. So I'm working on that. So, I mean, when I bike riding, my snacks are generally, especially with bike riding, I need a little more. So it's usually a banana. And once in a while, it will be, if I need for convenience sake, in my bike bag, a Lara bar. Those are not, yes, Lara bar, that one. That is the once in a while kind of thing. It's like my quick shove it in my mouth so I can keep going kind of thing. But generally, it's a banana. The other day when I did 30 miles, I ate a banana and I brought a baggie with some grapes and blueberries, and that was my snack. Usually, my snack is an apple or my homemade hummus with, I'm not completely against healthy stuff such as oil-free stuff that are vegan. So Aldi's came out with these new brown rice crackers, no oil in them. I get those, and sometimes we'll have half a serving. I think a serving is like 13 crackers. They're so big. I will have 7, and I break them in half, and I'll eat them with a little hummus. So I do that. All right, so let's look at some other questions. Okay, do you have any sweeteners? I don't use any sweeteners. So when I make my before I was whole food plant-based, I was a Splenda addict. I use diet sodas all the time. I don't do anything. I don't even use maple syrup. I don't use dates. I don't use any of that stuff. To me, it's too concentrated. So what I will do is, like, if I make my overnight oats, you know what sweetens the oatmeal? A banana. The banana is all it needs. So if I make overnight oats, I put half a banana. I usually share it with my husband. So I put half a banana in each. I put a bunch of blueberries, a bunch of strawberries. I put 2 tablespoons of peanut butter in his because he's more eating that. We use the Trader Joe peanut butter that's just peanuts and salt. I like the salt one better, so I'm not worried so much about salt. And I put 1 tablespoon in mine. Fill it up with almond milk, shake, stick it in the fridge, and that'll be my breakfast. Okay, so let's see what other questions. Do you put tahini in your hummus? I have 2 recipes that I use. One does not use tahini, one does. Um, the one with the tahini is my favorite. It has 2 tablespoons in it. Now, tahini does not have added oil. Tahini is just crushed sesame seeds. So it's the same thing as making a peanut butter that's just peanuts. So when I make my hummus, my favorite recipe, and it's on my website, which is Plant Based Melissa. The recipe's there. It is basically kind of a spoof of the Roots brand oil-free hummus. I was sick of paying $5.99 for a small container of hummus, so I looked at the ingredients and I kind of made my own ratios and made a recipe based on what their ingredients, and it's really good stuff. And so you could certainly use less or keep it out, but I use it. But when I make that hummus, it lasts me and my husband a week. So it's not like I'm going ahead and opening the jar of tahini and going, ah, and shoving tons of it down my mouth. Okay. So what about grains or nuts? I go light on that stuff. I know it's mostly out of habit at this point. So for me, my grain is my oatmeal, and I eat oatmeal every single day for breakfast usually. I would say there's maybe 2 days a month where I'm not having oatmeal, and that's just either because I didn't feel like making it the night before, or my savory oats are done and I didn't have any and I'm too lazy. Once in a while, I will instead just stick some shredded hash browns, just regular potatoes that are shredded, in the air fryer and put my potato carrot cheese on it or ketchup on it, and I'll just inhale that. Or once in a while, I take a um, whole grain, low carb tortilla. That is one of the very few. There's two products that I use that are not whole food plant based compliant every day since I started. I use Silk almond milk creamer, has a little oil in it. Yep. It's one of those things where I say it's a trade off for me to have this teeny tiny bit because I want to enjoy my 1 cup of coffee. And I use a low carb whole grain wrap. I don't recall the brand name. I use it out of habit because Ezekiel's, when I first started, would spike me like crazy. And I don't eat bread. So I have maybe 2 tortillas a week. And that is it. I don't really go for grains. Nuts, if I have them, I have walnuts, and I do the Dr. Greger for Brazil nuts on the 4th of the month for cholesterol and for health. So that's what I do. So I'm gonna see. Let's see. I got this one thing. Okay, well, let me look at it. All right. So that's what I do. And I just wanted to do this particular subject today of not getting stuck in that vegan trap because you are worth it. So set a goal for yourself. I say just make it this week until next week's Mindset Monday video. Try to not eat any of those replacement products. And trust me, if you are feeling like you don't have any food to eat, like I said, take anything that you enjoy eating and find a recipe for it. Like I said, that's how I part of how I was successful is because I never felt deprived because I was just finding recipes or making up recipes for food I enjoy. When I make, in the wintertime, when I make the stew and it's made with mushrooms and potatoes and celery and carrots, and I have this like vegan gravy that I kind of put together, it's good. Tastes like I'm eating beef stew, but I'm not eating beef stew. So, okay. So Paula asked, do I eat rice? I don't. I use cauliflower rice. So again, it was out of habit because as a diabetic, I ate to my meter. So when I went whole food plant based, I decided to cut out the foods that spiked me because in the beginning, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, um, the insulin resistance and the diabetes is ultimately come from the fat clogging all your body cells. So the glucose that you're eating can't get into those cells to be used as fuel. So it goes into your bloodstream, causes a spike, and then gets stored as more fat to make the problem worse. So that's the gist of type 2 diabetes. So when you first go type 2 diet, when you first go whole food plant based, those foods that spike you are still going to spike you because you haven't flushed the fat out of those cells to let them in. So out of habit, I focus mostly on fruits and vegetables, and that's how I lost a lot of weight. So when I want to make a stir fry, I use cauliflower rice. And so when I even when I make sushi, I use cauliflower rice. And I, out of habit now, I still do it because it's lower calorie, and I would rather at this point, instead of eating rice that doesn't spike me anymore, instead of eating that and having maybe half a cup to a cup max, I would rather have 3 cups of cauliflower rice. I would rather eat a lot of food because I like to eat. Who doesn't like to eat? I would rather feel like I'm stuffing my face and I'm full and I can't take another bite as opposed to the smaller plate. So that's how I do it. All right. I'm in the vegan pleasure trap right now. This helps motivate me. I'm good. I'm glad. I want to see everyone because I know everyone out there who is trying can do this. And it makes me sad when I see even friends of my own struggle and go places that they know aren't going to be good for them, and they struggle and they still can't get it because they're in that pleasure trap. And I'm telling you, you can be stuck in a whole food plant-based pleasure trap of eating foods that you can eat and not feel guilty about. You can do that. My potato, carrot, cheese is the bomb. Okay, so it's like I could eat a cup of it a day. I mean, people have said to me, "Does I don't eat potatoes because they spike me because I'm diabetic. Is this going to spike me?" That recipe, when I make that recipe, and it's here on YouTube, um, when I make that, it's one potato, and it lasts me and my husband a week. So having half a cup of that stuff on my salad doesn't spike even when I hadn't reversed my diabetes because it's so little of it. It's probably like 3 grams of actual carbs, and two of them are probably fiber, that it doesn't really spike you at all. So I find that, when I make my food, it's awesome. My savory oats are awesome. That's why I eat them 6, 7 days a week for breakfast because they're just that good. And so it's like when I don't make them and I have my overnight oats or I make that, potatoes, I'm finally like, damn, I need my savory oats. They're downstairs in a pot right now. I just finished making them before doing these videos. So I'm going downstairs and I'm going to inhale my savory oats because if you love your whole food, plant based food, you're not going to get stuck in that vegan pressure trap because you're going to be over here and being like, ah. So that is my wish for everyone. Don't get stuck in that trap. Don't go from one thing to the other and prolong feeling amazing. Go to it and feel amazing right away. There is a recipe that you can make for every food that you enjoy. And there's a way to find a way where you get so loving the food that you're eating, you don't remember what that other food tastes like. So that potato carrot nacho cheese that I make tastes like cheese to me. And if I were to taste real cheese, I'd probably be like, "Oh god, that's so gross." That's cheese now. Potato carrot cheese is cheese. You know, if when I make my homemade bean burgers, that's a burger, not that. That again would probably be a grease bomb, and I would be like, "Oh my god, that's so bad. That is so disgusting. I can't even fathom how I ate that for so long." You get so used to your good, healthy food and craving your good, healthy food that that old stuff is just ugh. So try to get into the mindset of I love myself. I am worth it. I'm not going to get these products. I'm going to go off them. I'm going to say a week. I'm going to say 2 weeks. I'm going to set this as a goal for myself. I'm going to try to eat. Is going to thank me for it. And I'm going to feel amazing. And it's going to be so much easier to stay eating this way because you're going to love your food. So you can do it this week. You can do it for the rest of your life. I know everyone out there who says that they're inspired by me. I want you, I'm thankful for it, but I want you to be inspired by you. I know everyone out there can succeed and reach their goals. And I want you to know that you can achieve your goals. You can do it. All right. I love you all. Thank you for watching. I'm blessed even just to see that people are watching me live and will even listen to me for a half hour. So I will see you guys next week in another video. I do still have my 2 year, I got to sit down and do it. I have so much on my plate right now. And then it's also summer and I'm bike riding and today I'm painting my playroom and there's so much stuff going on. I will get to it. I'm so glad that you were here. Thank you all. And I will see you next week. Love you. Have a great week. You can do it. And I'll see you. Bye bye.